9 books in 19 days. Is that even possible? That's what we're gonna figure out in this vlog. Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. Don't mind my hair. I always try to embrace my curls and make my hair curlier, but somehow I've always feel a bit awkward with like the way things fall, and I don't know. Welcome to the OlympicsAthon vlog. The OlympicsAthon is currently going on as of when I'm filming this, and I've decided to make an attempt to vlog my point of view of the readathon. I'm starting this a tad bit late. It's the 7th of February. The readathon started on the 4th, and we've already had a live show as well, which I hosted on the 5th, so Thursday. It's currently Saturday. But basically I haven't really had time to sit down and film the intro, but I have been reading. Just to catch you up, if you don't know, the OlympicsAthon is a readathon that I have hosted many times now. I don't know which edition we're at for the OlympicsAthon, like the 5th, 6th, something like that. It's a readathon inspired by the Olympic Games, and it takes place during the same time as the Olympic Games are, and it's a really cute community. I adore everyone that's in it. This is like part of my TBR for OlympicsAthon. I posted my February TBR, which includes these books, so if you're more curious about them, why I'm reading them, stuff like that, I can link it somewhere. But I thought that in this video I would just have you follow me throughout this readathon, talk to you about what I've read, how I'm doing, things like that. And actually today I finished 2 books for the readathon. I have on my TBR for this 9 books, and the readathon goes on for 19 days. That means that I need to finish a book every other day. I guess I'm sort of keeping up with that. We have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 4 days has passed and I have finished 2 books. So I guess I'm on track, but the 2 books I finished are fairly short, but I do have plenty of other short books on my TBR as well. The first book I finished was Disfigured by Amanda Leduc, or Leduc. It's a non-fiction about disability representation in media, but particularly in fairy tales. So she goes through like the Brother Grimm stories and Disney and all of that, Hans Christian Andersen, and talks about how they sort of represent disabilities and how many times villains are portrayed with disabilities but not the heroes of the story, and what issues that might have. There was also a part like discussing language, how we talk about disabilities or different abled people, things like that, like how we say that someone's mental or crazy. Are you insane? Are you blind? Things like that. It was an interesting book. I will admit that I did not pay that much attention when listening to it. The majority of it I listened to the other day. I ended up giving the book 3 stars. I think it's a solid non-fiction if you're intrigued by the subject, and it has some good pointers. And that book I read for the main prompt Paralympics, which has now earned me 50 points. Paralympics is inspired by the Paralympic Games, and the prompt was to read a book featuring disability representation, which this one definitely has. It talks about disabilities in media, and also the author of this book, Amanda, she has cerebral palsy. So we have disability representation there as well. The second book I finished today, and my latest read, is Ear by Jan Prochaska. This book was written by a Czech author, and it's about life under surveillance in communist Czechoslovakia, so it plays out during the 60s, I believe, and it's quite an interesting story actually. The backside is intriguing, but it doesn't really reveal much of the plot, I would say. It's about a deputy minister in the Communist Party, Ludwig, who enjoys all the luxuries that political success affords him. But he must be careful since he knows that the secret police have bugged his apartment. So that's sort of the themes of the book and the subject matter. But what the story actually is that Ludwig and Anna, his wife, were out on some sort of event, and they get home and Anna can't find her keys, so they sort of need to enter their home in some other way, and things are just a bit off, and there's a different vibe to their house. What's going on? They see some odd cars outside. They can't really find things that they are looking for, and they also fight a lot during this night. And the story takes place during this one night. And there's just a lot of discussions, a lot of emotional turmoil, distress, paranoia. Ludwig, who works for the Communist Party, is very careful, and Anna is so not. And Anna gets annoyed at Ludwig for so many things, so she just starts basically spilling all of their secrets, and Ludwig does not want that because they are aware that there is at least one bug in their house, and they even refer to it as Ear, which is the title of this book. So they know that there's one bug, and they call it Ear, but they just make sure to speak in other rooms than where this one thing is. But as the night develops, a lot of things happen for very different reasons. The intensity just develops and grows. And it's a tricky story to get into, I would say, because perhaps it's the translation, but I do think it's the way it's written. It's quite a dialogue heavy and direct story. It doesn't really explain a lot of things at first. You sort of need to figure it out yourself as you read it. It doesn't explain who the characters are, especially the characters that they are talking about. You don't know these people and you don't really learn anything about them either, but they talk about them in a way as if you should know who those characters are. There's also a few flashbacks to earlier that evening when they were at this event and like hints and conversations they had. It is confusing at first. As you go on, the story sort of starts to come together. You start to understand the story as well, and a few things actually get explained to you too. I actually really enjoyed this one, and it got better with time. Our main characters, Ludwig and Anna, they definitely are not the most likable people. You still feel for them and their paranoia. And this edition actually of the book is really good because you do get a lot of backstory. There's an afterword with like a lot of information about the author, but also perhaps how the politics were during these times. So if you don't know much about this time and era and like what was going on in Czechoslovakia and Soviet and all of that, there's a few explanations for that in the afterword as well. So I actually quite enjoyed skimming through the afterword. It is a fairly quick read. I would not advise you to like rush through it because you should pay attention, but you should also not let it go for too long. I read this in like 3 days and I feel like that was the perfect time. I gave some time to actually get into the story, but then when I was separated from it, I could think about the story and try to figure out what certain things meant, and then I would return to the story and be in a different mindset. This edition also has a lot of like cool illustrations in it on some pages, which is fun, and the chapters are really short. Within these 200 pages almost, there's like 80 chapters, so some chapters are just 1 page long, and it's almost like you're cutting to different scenes around the house. I enjoy this. I'm glad I read it, both because it's actually a distant relative of mine who wrote this book, but also I don't know, I haven't read that much Czech books, meaning I haven't really read any. But there were a few things that just sort of felt familiar to me in a good way. Like when they got home from this event and they go to the fridge and just grab a cold schnitzel and eat that straight up. I've done that. I don't know any Swedes or friends around me that have done that, but I have done that because my family is from Czechoslovakia and we eat a lot of schnitzel. I've definitely had my fair share of cold schnitzels late in the evening. Tiny things like that. I feel like I'm more curious now about Czech stories. 4 stars to this one. This actually doesn't count for any particular prompt, but this is gonna count for the translated books prompt. So the prompt where I need to read 5 translated books. Solid start, 2 books read, 50 points earned. And I've actually already started my next audiobook, which is The Unworthy. Haven't gotten far, I've listened to like 5 minutes, so not far at all. But that's gonna be my next audiobook. And then I think I'm gonna start reading The Favorites. I'm gonna keep this as my at-home book. I think I might start it tomorrow actually. Because I'm currently watching the Olympics and I'm watching figure skating. I'm excited about this book now because it is about figure skaters and it takes place during the Olympics. For my commute book, I'll probably go for Dalagut Dream Department Store because it is a paperback even though it's a bit taller. And I might read that on the go. My friend also came by yesterday and I'm borrowing her copy of Small Things Like These and I'm really excited about it actually because I know that she gave it 5 stars and it's really, really short. Like many of these books are short, but this one is like 116 pages, so it's really, really short. So I'm hoping that this is gonna be a really quick read. So these are sort of my reading plans in the near future, as well as an audiobook. OlympicsAthon is happening. Wish me luck with the rest of it. I'll catch up with you at some other point. I'm about to head into the office, but I thought I would give you some updates about the books I'm currently reading. Well, actually, I'm only currently reading The Favorites by Elaine Fargo. I'm 200 pages in now, as of yesterday, which is almost halfway. I'm having so much fun with it. I feel like I'm reading it at the perfect time as well. Like, my timing is immaculate. I'm reading this while watching the Olympics during the evenings, while watching figure skating and ice dance. And on top of that, they're hardcore promoting the Wuthering Heights movie right now. It's about to come out. I read Wuthering Heights last year, and I'm loving the parallels, since this is like a retelling or an inspired story. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I read the required reading for this book beforehand and that I'm timing it with the Olympics. It's great. The story is told throughout multiple years. We're following our two main characters, Heath and Kat, and they grew up together. They have this really strong bond, but Kat wants to become a proper ice dancer. She wants to win the Olympics. She has very big goals. They are very young at the start of the book, which makes it so they're probably not the best at communicating and talking about what they actually want, how they want things to be like. So a lot of misunderstandings comes up, and it follows them throughout their careers. And after like every other chapter, there's a section that's part of the documentary that is airing as well. So that sort of storytelling reminds me a lot of Daisy Jones and the Six, because that book is just an entire interview basically. It is very, very fast paced. The chapters are short, the interview part's even shorter, and I don't know, I feel like the story for now has taken place during like 4 or 5 years, almost. But I'm having such a good time with this. I'm so happy I'm reading it right now. I feel very immersed with it. I watched ice dancing yesterday. I've never watched ice dancing, so that is super cool. My second current read is The Unworthy. I started listening to it yesterday as an audiobook. Don't have much to say yet. Other than that, I'm a bit confused. I think I'm like 15% into that one or something. I might be about to start a new book today actually, which might seem excessive considering I already have 2 reads. But as I always say, I like to have a commute book. I like to have a smaller book with me on the go in case I get an opportunity to read. And I'm taking Dolly Good Dream department store with me. It's a paperback, perfect. It's short, perfect. Haven't started it yet, we'll see what I think of it. This one I'm reading for the flag prompt. So all the colors on the cover, which this one definitely has. It's also translated from Korean, so it will work for that prompt, and it will also represent Asia. And it's just like I think it's one of those cozy, fantastical, speculative stories. It's about a store where they sell dreams. And we have an enthusiastic new hire who navigates the world within the famous Dolly Good Dream department store. And there's never a dull moment. Follow along with Penny as she uncovers the workings of this wonderfully whimsical world. I think it's gonna be cozy, so yeah, we'll see if I manage to read anything in it today. That's where I'm at with my current reads. Definitely so happy and excited about The Favorites. I don't know if it's a proper 5-star yet. It might be getting there. I think it's too early to say. It's somewhere between a 4 and 5-star. I feel like the start is like a strong 4-star, but depending on how the story develops now, honestly I just want more drama. If I get more drama, I think I think we're gonna be at 5 stars. Okay, and with that said, I am gonna head out or head to the office. It's super cold outside. It's gonna be cold for the rest of the week. I'm working out today during lunch with a colleague. I worked out a lot these last few days actually. I need a break from that. Wasn't planned, just happened. I'll see you in the next clip. Hi! Maybe I should sit on the floor, can I? Hi friends, and happy late Valentine's Day! I had a lovely Valentine's Day. I celebrated with some friends. We had a Galentine's and now I'm gonna eat the leftovers from that. So I made myself a little like girl dinner spread with grapes and different sort of like dips and breads and cheese and all of that. Today I went to my parents and just hung out there. And I've been bad at giving you updates throughout this OlympicsAthon. So I have some few updates. I have a few things to catch you guys up on. I finished reading The Favorites. I can't be bothered with getting the book, but I finished reading it a couple of days ago and I really enjoyed it. I have some mixed thoughts about it, but overall I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, 4.5 stars actually. I found it to be very entertaining. I loved the drama of it. And also I read it at the perfect time. I read it while the Olympics is happening and also while the promotions for the Wuthering Heights movie are happening. So I feel like I read it at the perfect time. The vibes were immaculate because of that. And it was a book I kept thinking about, a book I prioritized, a book I was excited to get home to and read. And those are all just really good signs of me enjoying a book. The pitch for that book is part Wuthering Heights, part Daisy Jones and the Six. And there could not be a better description of the book. Because it's so heavily influenced by Wuthering Heights. The names of the characters, Heathcliff, Katarina, Catherine, and the story of their like back and forth, how he disappears for a while, comes back, all of that. It is like a retelling, a modern retelling, reimagining of Wuthering Heights. And also while I was reading this, I kept thinking like, this is so similar to Taylor Jenkins Reid. If you enjoy Taylor Jenkins Reid, you're gonna enjoy this book. I kept thinking of Daisy Jones and the Six. I kept thinking of Atmosphere. I kept thinking of Evelyn Hugo. Like all of her books also popped up in my mind as I was reading The Favorites. Because of that, it is a great book if you enjoy either one of those two stories. And I did like how it was set up with like very short chapters. We got Katarina's entire point of view, but then we also had like inserts of the documentary and the interviews for that. I thought this was very well made. The one thing I realized when I was about to review it is that I'm not sure. I feel like the book relies too heavily on it being a reimagining and also being in the veins of or similar style of Taylor Jenkins Reid. And I kept thinking like, can this book stand on its own 2 legs? Is it original enough? And I don't know actually. So like it is a good book, it is an entertaining book, I enjoyed it, I gave it a high rating. But is it something in itself? If you took away the part Wuthering Heights, part Daisy Jones and the Six, it was occasionally repetitive. Like it always tried to outdo itself. Every time they were at a big competition, a big ice dance competition, something happened, and then the next ice dance competition, something happened. And it is the way of the story, and that is fine. And it's similar to, once again, Daisy Jones and the Six, and how all of those hindrances eventually made it so that there couldn't be anything more. So I enjoyed it. I read it at the perfect time. I'm gonna look at this as like a great reading experience because I had so much fun while reading it. It was an easy story to get into. I would love to read more books like this one, but it's not original enough
to be a complete favorite or to be a 5-star. It's gonna end up on my honorable mentions of the year, most likely. I'm very glad that I have read it. I will recommend it to people. But I just don't think it's original enough. Maybe that's harsh, I don't know. But those are just my thoughts. I also finished reading, I don't think I've talked about it really, but I finished listening to The Unworthy. Honestly, I have no clue what that book was about. I listened to it as an audiobook. It's about 4 hours, something like that. But I couldn't tell you what it was about. Partly my fault, definitely. Did not pay enough attention while I was listening to it. But also just... It's about a cult, but it didn't really stand out in more ways than that for me. I gave it 3 stars because, yeah, it's not a bad book. The writing wasn't bad, the story wasn't necessarily bad, it just didn't stand up or grab my attention in any way. The book I've been reading since is Daligut Dream Department Store. I sort of read it in parallel with The Favorites. This was my commute book, but now I'm gonna be able to focus on this one fully and then go to all of my other short books, which is awesome. How far am I into it? 67 pages. So I read like, what would it be, a fourth of it? Something like that, I think. About a fourth of the book. And I like it. I like how it's written. I think it's a cute story so far. We've just... The start of the book is mainly just introducing you to the concept of the story, of this dream store, the characters, how eccentric the owner is and things like that. So we're gonna see what it will turn into. I don't think there will be a lot of like disputes and conflicts and high stakes. I think it's gonna be pretty low stakes and chill from now on, which I don't know if what I will think of that. So it's gonna be interesting to see that. But so far I like how it's written, I like how it's been translated. I'm reading this both for the flag prompt, and I'm also reading this for another one of my translated books. So I'm making good progress of that, I would say. And hopefully it's gonna be a fairly quick read. And the rest of my books as well. Like The Favorites was the longest one, and the rest of my books are like around 200 pages. But I still need to read them, and it's 1 week left of the OlympicsAthon. I've been less busy this week, and I'm gonna be less busy the upcoming week as well, so hopefully we'll be able to prioritize reading some more. I'm gonna need to if I want to complete more prompts, but it's not gonna be easy necessarily. I have this one yet to finish, and on top of that I have my winter book, I have another translated book, and I have my host book. So 3 other physical reads other than this one, and also 1 audiobook to listen to, a full-length novel, Cursed Daughters. So, I mean, I don't know, I felt very optimistic at the start of this readathon. I still feel more optimistic than I've done for other rounds of the OlympicsAthon, but it's not gonna be easy. Right now, it's been a lot of Olympics on the TV lately, and it's been nice, but I'm thinking maybe I'm just gonna put on a movie for tonight or something. Relax. I want to watch People We Meet on Vacation. I read a book because I wanted to watch the movie, and I have read the book now. So because of that, maybe I'm just gonna watch a rom-com and have a cute time with my snack plate. I'm gonna let you see it. Do you see? How cute doesn't this look, okay? So we have some like dips that I made, and we have some grapes, cheeses, bread, crackers, and a Fanta. So yeah, I think this is gonna be my evening. Maybe I'll have time to read a bit more in Daligut Dream Department Store. If I could reach page 100 tonight, that would actually be awesome. And then I think I will really focus on having like proper reading evenings this week. Fingers crossed, okay? Hi, okay. So I just finished watching People We Meet on Vacation. It was cute. I think I like it better than the movie. I really like the actors, like Emily Bader and also Tom Blythe. Awesome. They looked great. Eye candy. Yes, both of them. I prefer the movie over the the book, and that is because they basically changed everything that I did not enjoy. The book had a good concept with like the friendship and the vacations, but it was just so like unsexy, if I can say that. It felt clunky in execution, and there were some just odd choices that didn't make sense to me, and the book changed that. They made like the trip, the vacation, that they would go to Barcelona instead of LA. They removed all of the lying on Poppy's part about like her job and that she was paying for the holiday. They removed some of the very unsexy bits. They kept the back spasm thing, which I still think is very weird. But yeah, so they did a lot of improvements, but it's still not that strong of a story, I feel like. I feel like the conflicts are just, I don't know. So I like the movie. It's a cute movie. It's nice for an evening like this, but it's not gonna be a favorite rom-com. Even though I really like the actors' performances, I just feel like the story in itself is too bleak and weak. Maybe I'm a hater, I don't know. It was cute. Now I'm gonna watch some Olympics. It's Tuesday. It's like 5 days left of the OlympicsAthon, and I'm starting to come to terms with the fact that I won't finish it. Still days left, so we're gonna see. But my current update is that I'm currently reading Dolly Good Dream Department Store, and I'm more than halfway through now, which is good. So I have about 100 pages to read left in that one. I am enjoying it. I think it's quite cute. I like the story. I feel like it's very well translated, actually, so kudos for that. Not decided yet if I would be interested in reading the sequels, or I know there's at least one sequel, right? So I don't know if it's one of those stories where I feel like I need to read the sequels, but maybe. And then I started listening to Cursed Daughters, so I'm almost a fifth into that one. It started out a bit confusing, but I'm actually starting to get into it. I feel like I've got into the plot now. So I think tomorrow is actually going to be a day when I will be listening to the audiobook quite a lot. It hasn't been my most productive reading days these last few days. I feel like maybe it's just me that I can read really intensely for like 2 weeks and then I need a break or something. And I feel like I'm on the break part. And it's also quite late now. I might make an attempt to pick up Inferno just before bed, just to get an idea of what that would be like. Because if I finish all of my current books and on top of it read Inferno, I can count that for all of the continents. And it would be nice if I could make at least one bonus prompt. And then Inferno would also count for host country. So there are still points for me to get. Almost. But now I'm gonna prepare for bed. I'm still working on like finding my angles and stuff. I'm watching Gavin, if you can see, behind the flowers. And I want to, let's move that. I want to read a bit tonight. It's Wednesday. I've had a great evening. Me and my friends booked a trip for fall that we've been talking about for years, and it's finally happening. And now I can finally feel excited about it. So that is pretty awesome. But I want to read. There's still a few days left of the OlympicsAthon. I'm slowly coming to terms with the fact that I won't be able to finish all of the books, I think. But my current reads are going well, and I have some time to read this evening, so I want to do that. As we know, in the middle of this one, I have like 90 pages left, but I feel like this is quite a solid commute book as well, for me to just pick up, read 10 pages on the train and stuff. So I will continue to do that throughout the week, I think, or maybe should I just finish it now? I'm not scared that I won't finish it. I also have barely any plans for this weekend, actually. So hopefully that means I can read a bunch. So I might surprise myself and read a lot. But yeah, this is like I can read whenever, and I know that I will finish it. And I'm actually really enjoying it as well. I think I'm going to give it a 4-star. And I know I mentioned that I wasn't certain if I wanted to continue with the sequels, but I sort of feel now like I want to. So I might actually pick up the sequel. I saw that it's on the yearly book sale, so I might pick that up. Inferno made a very slight attempt yesterday evening. I read the first canto. I can't say that I remember much about it. I might have to reread that. I've also seen like suggestions that you should watch the YouTube video alongside it or something. So this is one I should read when I'm more focused. So maybe this is what I should focus on now. Because like it is short, but it's also tricky. So I don't know. I could give myself a sense of success and read small things like these. It would work for the continents prompt actually, because I need either this one or this one for the continents prompt. So yeah, and also for winter prompt. And it's short as well, it's like 100 pages, something like that. So maybe, or I should also read this one. What you're looking for is in the library. It's the longest one amongst all of the books I'm considering. And it's probably gonna be the one I prioritize least. I need it for the translated prompt, and I would really love to complete the translated prompt this year, but it's also the longest book, and I'm trying to think about maybe optimizing scores instead. So maybe I'm gonna make another more proper attempt with this one actually. Maybe I should attempt to read it, put on the like actual explanations on YouTube as well, and see how far I can get. I'm gonna attempt that. I'm gonna make myself a cup of tea, I'm gonna cozy up here, I'm gonna watch some more Gavin, and I'm gonna read Inferno. Or attempt to read Inferno. On a random note, I picked up this, I don't know if you can see shit, probably not. I picked up this like banana hair clip today. So yeah, I tried to put up my hair with it. Don't know if I feel like I succeeded, but I'm gonna have to practice with it. No one cares. So I am scared already and trying to figure out how the heck I'm supposed to read this. I haven't begun or restarted. I tried to find like a video on YouTube. It took me a while though. Many of the videos are actually quite long, like around quarter to 20 minutes for one canto. And we have like, how many cantos? Over 30 cantos basically, almost 40, somewhere in between. So that's actually quite a bit of time to analyze it. And I don't know if like maybe I tricked myself picking this, thinking it was gonna be a short read. Because of the page count and stuff. I don't know what's the best way to approach it, but I did find a video now by Course Hero, I think was the channel, and they made a summary of the first canto that was like 2.5 minutes. And I think I'm gonna read the first canto with that fresh in mind, and maybe that's gonna be my approach, to watch the YouTube video explaining the canto and then read the canto, or maybe read the canto, watch the video, read the canto, something like that. I'm gonna need to try it out a bit. But yeah, I'm scared now. I tricked myself into reading Inferno. Gorgeous cover though. Gorgeous book. I'm not gonna get tired of it. We're gonna see.
A few moments later.
Okay. I think I like this approach. I think I like it. I read the first canto, which is like 4 pages. Because of the video I watched, I sort of feel like I know what I'm looking for. So I'm like underlining keywords or key parts, not necessarily like annotating, but for example, that we're starting out with him being by a dark wood and he's feeling lost and he's scared. So I've underlined like dark wood, lost, fear. I've underlined I do not know how first I came to be here, so he's confused. I underlined when we meet Virgil, however you should say his name, and how he explains that there's another road. And also I think the paragraphs where Virgil talks about how he believes in a different god than Dante. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this up for a bit and we'll see how far I get. Scary, but this was fun. This was okay. I'm gonna continue with the videos. I don't want this to be a thing where people are like, oh, you're too lazy to get invested in Inferno. You should do it this way and this way instead. You should do it in like a month-long process, whatever. I just want to read my book and like low-key understand the story. I don't need all of the deep analytics. I just want to get the story a bit more. So this is gonna be my approach for now. We'll see. I might change it. I'm trying out what works. Hiya, good morning. Oh, haven't made my bed. It's Saturday. It's just 2 days left of the OlympicsAthon. I haven't really read anything the last couple of days. Yesterday we had an after work at the office. It was really nice. I got home, watched episode 5 of Heated Rivalry. Loved it. Made me cry. And then this morning, I barely have any plans this weekend, which is incredible. So I'm just relaxing, chilling, doing all of that. So I slept in. I then rewatched episode 3, 4, and 5 of Heated Rivalry. And now I'm gonna head out for a quick errand, gonna get back home, and then I will focus on reading. So I'm gonna try to wrap up Dalagur Dream Department Store. I'm gonna listen to Cursed Daughters while I'm out, and I will most likely start and try to finish Small Things Like These. So hopefully it would be awesome if I could knock out 2 books this day, and also then I will have time tomorrow. So gonna see how it goes. Might throw in some Inferno in between just to try and keep up with that one as well. We're gonna see. But yeah, some reading happening this evening. I'm excited about it. Hi all! Sunday, last day of the OlympicsAthon. Oh my god. I didn't do as much reading yesterday as I had intended, but I did finish Dalagur Dream Department Store. I give it 4 stars. Don't really have much to add. I quite enjoyed it. I think the translation is great. I adore the story. I really like the concept of this dream world and selling dreams and the reasoning behind them, and why nightmares occasionally are good, and like dreams for animals and dreams around Christmas and stuff. So I'm definitely intrigued and want to pick up the sequel as well. Really solid book. It was cozy. It was nice. I liked it a lot. I have since started Small Things Like These. I am about 30 pages in. It's a very short book. It's like 110 pages. Something like that. So aim is definitely to finish this one today. I have like 80 pages to go, but it's a fairly quick read. So far, I do like it. I was like, when I read the first chapter, I was like, how is this book of 100 pages something that people feel so strongly about? Because this is a very highly rated book, I believe. And on top of it, it's become a movie as well. I'm like, what can possibly happen within these 100 pages? But I think the thing is that the writing is quite straightforward, but at the same time relatable, and at the same time just like sweet or something. And also I think our main character, Bill Furlong, is quite relatable, at least for me. There's something about him that makes him very likable, and on top of that I just find him, the questions he has throughout the book so far about, is this what life is supposed to be? Is this how every day will look like? Is this gonna be my day in, day out sort of thing? I personally relate to that quite hard. So there's something that's growing on me with this one, which is very interesting. So yeah, I will definitely do my best to finish this today, as well as Cursed Daughter, which is the audiobook I'm listening to. I have 13% to go, probably less. So I am actually heading out soon. I'm going out to play badminton with some colleagues, and it's on the opposite side of town for me, so a bit of a trip. But that's good, because then I will have time to either listen to my audiobook or read this one physically. So that is the plan. And hopefully that means I can finish at least 1 book while I'm out, probably the audiobook, and then wrap this one up tonight. Other than that, I have watched Sweden win 2 goals today, which is super fun and impressive. And this evening is the closing ceremony of the Olympics, which I will definitely watch. It's been a slow day, otherwise I've been cleaning low-key, reading on and off, watching TV. Yeah, just a relaxing day. Finishing good about probably finishing 2 books today. I also realized that this is gonna work for Europe as well. So even though I won't complete the translated bonus prompt, I'm gonna complete the continent bonus prompt, which is amazing, because I don't think, or maybe I have done that before, I don't quite remember. But if I finish Cursed Daughters for Africa and this one for Europe, we're done, because this one is set in Ireland, so that's perfect. I'll catch up when I have some more books to talk to you about. I am checking in with you all to say that I've completed the best I could my OlympicsAthon TBR. I finished listening to Cursed Daughters and I just finished reading Small Things Like These. So let's talk about it. Cursed Daughters, I enjoyed. I liked the writing, I liked the storytelling. I listened to it as an audiobook, but I just thought it was quite beautiful in its writing. Don't have that many opinions regarding the plot. I ended up giving that book 3 stars. There's a lot of stunning things in that. It's just not a plot that perhaps grabs me, or I don't know. It's an enjoyable book. I understand why many people rate it high. For me it was just, I liked the writing and the storytelling, but the actual story didn't do it for me, or I wasn't really that interested and invested in it, I guess. And with that I could count the prompt for reading 5 books from 5 different continents, because I had forgotten that I had read Ear, which represents Europe and Czech Republic. So since I finished Cursed Daughters, I could count that for Africa, Ear for Europe, Dolly Good Dream Department Store for Asia, The Unworthy for South America, and Either the Favorites or Disfigured for North America. So that's incredible. And then I continued reading Small Things Like These, and I just finished it, and this counts for the winter prompt, so that is also awesome. This book, it's tiny, it's short, but it packs a punch. It's impactful, it's powerful. I really liked the writing, actually. I liked how mundane it felt. It felt like we were just following this man on his everyday, and it still has a really beautiful message in it. And I would love to watch the movie now. So this book is about Bill Furlong, who during Christmas time is walking around and he encounters some people that are being controlled by the church. And he has a lot of thoughts, and he has a lot of like questions regarding right and wrong. And he had a different upbringing where he didn't really know his family, but some very kind people took care of him. And because of that, he sort of feels like he wants to give back, and he's inspired to be more kind and to help people. So it's actually, it is like a gray description, but there's this light with our main character and how he wants to do what he can to make the world better. And that's quite beautiful, actually. I really liked him as a character. I also enjoyed his conversations with his wife and his family, and it was just a really nice, cute story. And I know there's a movie with what's his name, Cillian Murphy. Is that his name? Yeah, Cillian Murphy. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, it's definitely a very tender and quiet book, but in a really nice and sweet way. And there were some stunning quotes in it as well, and I really liked Bill. And that is it for the OlympicsAthon. And very fittingly, I'm currently watching the end ceremony of the Olympics. So that's why all the lights are going crazy. My aim for this readathon was to read 9 books and complete all of the prompts. I ended up reading 7 books. The books I did not read or finish reading were Infernal, although I did start it and I have an idea of how to continue with it. And then I never got to What You're Looking For Is in the Library. So 7 out of 9 books. Technically, if I had planned my TBR better, I would have been able to complete the TBR by now, but I didn't, or I didn't have the means to do that. I don't know if it's my best OlympicsAthon. I don't remember my points from previous years, but it's definitely one of my best readathons. So that is great. I'm very happy with the books I read. I just had a look, and all of them were either 3 or 4 star. I'm really glad I read Ear. I've been meaning to read that one for a while, and that I feel like that's the one that's sticking with me the most. And then the favorites is definitely going to be an honorable mention. So yeah, I am very pleased with what I read, and I feel like I read very diversely, which is the point. So happy about that as well. I think I'm ending up with a score of 300 points. Yeah, because I'm lacking Host and I'm lacking 5 translated books. But that's okay. We can't make it all the way entirely. But I read 7 books in 22 days. Sure, most of those books were quite tiny. 3 of them were audiobooks. But still, 7 books in 22 days. It's basically 1 book every 3 days. That's pretty good if you ask me. So yeah. And with that said, I'm gonna wrap up this readathon and this vlog. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye!